again, Tyler with Legendary Vegan Art. Today I'm going to be inking this picture of Daphne and Velma taking a selfie together. I'm going to be using these same micron pens that I used last time, as well as this Zig Mangaka flexible pen. It's a sort of variant of a brush pen that I got from an Art Snacks box, and I really like the shape of the tip. If I'll try and bring it up here, it's got a little bit of a wedge to it, unlike a normal brush tip, which is just straight across. And that helps prevent the line width from blowing out too much. So, I'm going to start out using this for some of the lines I know I need to be thick. And I'm not worried too much about the control, and see if I can't keep using it. Now, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense as far as how a camera would actually work, but I really like having the fingers here sort of framing the picture, because it works compositionally, so sometimes you have to cheat a little just to have a good composition, because that can make a picture work. I like this pen a lot. The reason you don't see me sketching a lot of pictures, instead doing a lot of inking and painting, is because I sort of sketch on and off, start picking at a little drawing and work on it a little, leave it for a while, come back to it, and it doesn't make for great watching, so it's not going to be a lot of that, sorry. Maybe someday I'll sit down and try and knock out a good sketching video, maybe just a practice drawing video, but for the moment it's going to be inking and painting. And I really missed out on some of the better Scooby-Doo movies for a while, because when I was a kid they were airing a lot of the old reruns of the original Scooby-Doo and some of the, decades-old series. And when I got to a certain age, I kind of realized how janky the animation was, and started thinking I was, too cool for school, too cool for Scooby-Doo. And right around the time I quit watching was when they actually started making the really good, high-quality, straight-to-video movies, like the Zombie Island movie and all the ones that followed after that, which have very good animation, and I didn't realize that until I was watching TV one day, and I think the Camp Scare movie was on, or one of the TV movies was playing, and I was very impressed by how just well written it was, how good the animation quality was. Yeah, goes to the other side so we can get that nice curvature. I'll say this time and again that you always want to not let your handedness work against you. It's okay to pull the image around any sort of angle you need. Anyway, and I think after that movie I started tracking down the others, and I also started watching the Mysteries Inc. or Mystery Incorporated TV show, which is fantastic. That takes a very stylized, different sort of take on the Scooby-Doo series. It's very funny, very stylized, very colorful. It's some pretty incredible designs, not just of the characters, but of the scenes, the shooting, the cinematography, I guess. I don't know what the cartoon equivalent is. The backdrops and backgrounds look great. It's a very impressive show. And I'm still trying to get it out of my head that, Scooby-Doo is this low-budget, janky affair, because it's not been for a long time. And in a lot of the new shows and new movies, there have been a lot of inside jokes for the older viewers. The parents, the older siblings, or just the, adult animation fans. That the kids won't get, but the grown-ups definitely will, so I respect that a lot in a show. And they'll let it be fun for everyone. I'm liking this brush pen a lot. I think I'm going to try and do the whole picture like this. Now, ideally, compositionally, you want your whole composition to speak for itself at each sort of phase of the drawing. But I think some of my lines are a little confusing here. It might not be completely clear that this line and this line are Velma's arm, sort of reaching around Daphne's shoulder here. But sometimes you just gotta work with what you have. Alright. Had a hard time getting Daphne's face just right. pretty tricky. She's got high cheekbones, very angled eyes. It's just tough to get looking just right. To redraw this many times. And I'm hoping I didn't overwork the paper, because if you erase and redraw and erase and redraw too much, you'll eventually compromise the sort of watercolor paper's surface quality. Nice little tip to this line here. Pull this out. Okay. Let's hope I'm not drifting this paper too far. I may need to reset my lighting. Sorry about that. I had a momentary crisis. I knocked the arm that the camera's on. I had to reset my lighting a little because I'm getting a lot of shadows. It's another thing you want to be mindful of your handedness for, is not to let shadows get all over the place. You can't see what you're doing. Okay, let's put in these glasses. Getting the glasses is key to Velma's character, and her expression too. And also helps sort of sell the perspective, because the line of the glasses and the line of, how the ear rest goes really sets the drawing in space, so you know how angled everything is. So let's just get in these outlines and call it a day. Really, different people draw differently. Some people, know what a drawing should look like, pencil in something pretty rough, then put some, fairly confident inks over it, but I'm still figuring out a lot of things, how to draw a lot of characters, trying to develop a personal look for these people. And so I have to get my drawing pretty tight before I start inking, because like I said, sometimes I have to, move the paper around. Sometimes the shadows aren't really working with me. So I need to know that if I'm following the drawing that's there already, it's going to work out if I just follow what I've already got. Okay, looks good. Okay, actually, let's get this in. And I have this line a little more indistinct than the ones on the rest of the face, because I want to have this sort of glass, make that line a little more indistinct. That'll help sell the, the fact that you're looking through glass. I might have to drop in something here for the line of Daphne's face and her hair too. Let's do the same thing. Make this line a little indistinct. I'll revisit that later when I have a better idea what to do. Put this hairline in. I'm sure using this pen would work out a lot nicer on some smooth paper instead of this watercolor, very heavily textured paper. But I still like it. Now, since Velma's closer than Daphne, I'm going to have to try and emphasize that by having the lines of her face a little thinner. As you've noticed, I've really gone all out with the lines of the finger because it's very close. So outlines will appear much heavier. I'm going to go back and touch that up. And the farther away things get, the lighter the lines will be. Here's another area where I had to have the drawing just right, because getting the outside curve of Daphne's face was an arduous battle, and I want to make sure I follow what I had, because I had it pretty good, if I do say so myself. Getting this sort of ascot or handkerchief placement just right. It's tricky. I looked up a lot of reference images. I take lots of reference images when I'm watching a show that I like and want to draw characters from. And I look up a lot online too. And just this handkerchief thing is drawn so many different ways in different shows or different, angles. It's very hard to figure out how it should have looked. I think I like that. Okay. Probably went in a little too heavy on this line, but I have to live with it. I don't mind. Okay. Okay, I was going to ink in the freckles, but I think I might save that for coloring and put in some brown paint there. Okay. Put those. Just a little. Lightly put this in. Okay. Any more stray lines? Yeah, I do. This little arch. I think I'm going to go with a micron for the lines of their mouths, just to get some very regular fine lines here. I had to test that out on another sheet, make sure it looked good. It does. Gotta control your breathing, make sure your hand's not shaking. You're going to get a little shake anyway, just because of the grain of the paper. But if it's all consistent, I hope it's not going to come out too strong, the shake. Hold this line down. The teeth, okay. And let's go a size larger for Velma. As I said, she's closer. Okay, just lower lip. And this little line, lower lip. Okay. I have some other lines here. I was going to put one in here for the sort of crease under the arm and here for her chest, but I think I might just leave that for colors, or I may just leave it completely on its own. And I'm going to fill in some of these black areas and call it just about inked. Okay, when this is all dry, I'm going to erase these lines and come back with my watercolors. So thanks for joining me for this, and I hope I'll see you in the coloring video. Thanks.